Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Monday Night Raw, or Moon Night Raw. I, Michael Cole, here with Pat McAfee and with the Jackal. And today on Monday Night Raw, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday on Power and Might. Yesterday on Power and Might, we learned that Ricochet will be the next one to take on Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. When that's going to happen will be on the 20th of the next month, the 7th month. You know, Michael Cole said that's when it's going to happen. Well, that's right, Pat McAfee says. Ricochet is going to have the right to take on Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings, even though other folks out there, like Seth Rollins or Becky Lynch, will most likely believe, that it should be them fighting for the wrestling or fighting for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Well, I could tell you that. Well, I could tell you that right now, Michael. I could tell you right now what Jackal says, or Cyrus says. I don't know, about Ricochet, if he's going to beat Asuka or not. But I do know that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch will not be happy knowing that they're not the one fighting Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Well, that could be true, Michael Cole says. That could be true. About folks being, that some folks, that some folks would be, unhappy with Ricochet being having the right, the next reckoning one, having a right, to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. I know Ricochet says that there are going to be some out there who will be unhappy with me being chosen to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Well, the first one who kind of was unhappy about it was Grayson Waller. Well, we haven't seen Grayson Waller in months. He shows up yesterday, starts some shit with me, and, then at the end of the day, I am up beating him. So, I know there's going to be other folks that are going to be, unhappy. Be unhappy with me, fighting Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. But it is what it is. Oh, like yesterday, you thought that it was done between me and you. Yeah, you didn't do nothing. And somehow, some way, you end up getting the right to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. That I do not understand at all. First off, Asuka had an open dare. I came out yesterday and took her up on that open dare, and that's how I won the right. You see, I'm not going to be like, see, first off, you can either take it one or two ways. You could be like Seth Rollins, who makes a mistake, and by making that mistake, he loses the right to fight for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Or you could be like Becky Lynch, that bitch and rants about how it should be her, or it should be you, since where you came from. And if you're going to say that, we both came from Walmart. Even though I came with a double set that came with Velveteen Dream. And you were singled, right? But I did something, Ricochet. At least I won something during my time in the TWF. I won the TWF light heavyweight winnings at one time. Something that you can't say you ever done that during your time in the TWF. Oh, I came to the TWF in 2020 YL, so there wasn't really much one could do. And I was hell with lucky. You know, you came to the Toy Wrestling Gathering in 2020, at the end of somewhere in 2024 YL, and somehow by mistake you ended up winning the TWF light heavyweight winning, and I didn't say anything bad about that. Look, Ricochet, you know that if you know as me, I could beat Asuka and not you. Oh, how long did it take you to come up with that bullshit name? You know, everyone thinks they're so cool, you know, by coming up with unkind nicknames. And Ricochet ain't one of those unkind nicknames. First off, Grayson Waller, I don't know why you're making a big thing about Ricochet having the right to fight Asuka when Asuka had an open dare and Ricochet was just wise enough to take her up on it. So next month it will be Ricochet meeting Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winning. However, I seem to think that you have a bind with Ricochet because you think Ricochet beating you yesterday on Power or Might didn't reckon. So why don't we just run it back again, Ric Flair says. Today we can have Ricochet take on Grayson Waller here today on Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw. Let's do it now. Well, you can see that the main wicker. You can say the main wicker of the Toy Wrestling Gathering, Ric Flair, has made this match again, and I think it's a prolonged war going on between Grayson Waller and Ricochet. Michael Cole says, yeah, like the same kind of ongoing war that started between Becky Lynch and Arrow, right? Pat McAfee says, and if Grayson Waller was as great as he says he is, then why the only thing he ever did in his whole time in WWE so far was win the WWE Tag Team winnings once, and that was it. Or the TWF Light Heavyweight winnings. I don't know. Pat McAfee says, I don't know, the Jackal says, but I can tell you, Grayson Waller, it's sometimes it's the matches that you have that make you stand out. He had good matches on NXT and on SmackDown and on Raw. So maybe he didn't win too many straps. Ricochet did won a lot of straps and no one really thought he was cool. Oh! 1, 2 and a kick out. While Michael Cole says, I gotta tell you something. Ricochet was a former WWE NXT North Vinlander fighter. He was a former WWE Hard Middle, former WWE Ender Lambody fighter, a former WWE 4-1 Rights fighter, and the first WWE Speed fighter. So he done a lot more in his time in WWE than Grayson Waller did. Michael Cole said, Grayson Waller, you know, doing that, coming out, going back in to do the stunner, and Ricochet just did a spin kick, and down he went, Michael Cole says. Well, Pat McAfee says, the one thing, I'll give Grayson Waller one little thing, he didn't leave WWE and go to AEW, though, when things didn't work out. Well, you know, we all know he's going to do the spin from the top rope, like Flash Funk or Too Cool Scorpio did. Pat McAfee says, yeah, you know, Ricochet doing the whole that Flash Funk did or Too Cool Scorpio did, Michael Cole says. He's going to beat Pat McAfee. He's going to beat Grayson Waller. Oh, come on, the Jackal says. Grayson Waller can't be beaten by Ricochet. That can't happen. That wouldn't be right. Well, he's getting up again. And now Grayson Waller getting up again right now. And he just slammed, you know, Ricochet, Michael Cole says. Well, what's this, the Jackal says. What's good for the goose is good for the bitter, too. And now Grayson Waller wants to make fun of Ricochet. This didn't work out good for him yesterday on Power and Might, and the spin, and he missed again. Michael Cole says. So why would he do it if it didn't work the first time he did it? Why would he do it for the 2-week time? Well, you know what they say. Pat McAfee says one of the meanings of madness is doing something the same way and then thinking something new is going to come out of it. 1, 2, 3. Ding ding ding. Here is your winner, Ricochet. Well, Ricochet has beat Grayson Waller again here today on Monday Night Raw, and Ricochet still has the right to fight Asuka next month, you know, the 7th month, the 20th, you know, at Slammiversary or Slam Day Year. And we do know one thing, Michael Cole says, that Ricochet and Grayson Waller will most likely not, not be done with their war or their wrong between each other. Michael Cole says, yeah, well, we got that right. Pat McAfee says Grayson Waller can go and say all the things he wants, but he's not going to be the one fighting Asuka next month for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Well, Jackal says, I can tell you one thing. Grayson Waller would be, I think he'd be more great fighting Asuka than Ricochet. That's just my belief right there. Alright, Michael Cole said you have the right to your belief, Jackal Osiris. Now take it away now to Tony Schiavone. Thank you, Michael Cole. I'm going to be talking with Grayson Waller here today on Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw. Grayson Waller, it seems that things did not go the way you wanted them to go. No, Tony, I firmly believe that I should be the one fighting Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Even though at the end of the day, a lot of folks are going to say, you coming off, you're bitching about the unfairness the same way Becky Lynch is. Yeah, but unlike Becky Lynch, I'm going to win. And yes, I'll be the one. I think I would do more good to beat Asuka than Ricochet. So at the end of the day, I'm going to fight Ricochet. I'm going to fight Ricochet. I'm going to show everyone that I should be the one fighting Asuka. Well, if that was true, Grayson, you didn't come out, it was Ricochet who came out to Asuka's open dare yesterday on Power and Might. We didn't see you there, you just showed your lair after the fight. Yeah, well, what are we doing by the first come, first help oversight? Ricochet may have gotten lucky and beaten me 2 times, like, oh, big deal, I could care less about that. But I'll win this war. I'll show him when I should be fighting Asuka and not Ricochet. Well, that's my talk with Grayson Waller. Back to you, Michael Cole. Now, thank you, Tony Schiavone, for talking with Grayson Waller here today on Monday Night Raw, or Moon Night Raw. And that's all the time we got here for Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw. I, Michael Cole, with Pat McAfee and with the Jackal, we hope you like Monday Night Raw, or Moon Night Raw, and we'll see you tomorrow for NXT.